Have you ever stopped to think that maybe God is trying to talk to you, but you're just not noticing? It might sound crazy, but many of the signs we see in our daily lives could be clear ways that God is communicating with us. We're not talking about coincidences, but real messages that He is sending, and you need to understand. Ignoring these signs could make you miss incredible opportunities, and the most shocking thing is that these signs might be right in front of you, but you're too busy to notice. The truth is that God uses surprising ways to connect with us. He doesn't shout, but He sends subtle signs, opening doors when you least expect it, giving you peace during confusion, or repeating the same message until you get the point. But many people let this go unnoticed. Can you imagine what you might be missing by not paying attention? And the best part, if you start noticing these signs now, your life can change completely and quickly. Stay tuned, because in this video, we're going to talk about the signs that could be around you, just waiting for you to see them. Let's understand how God is trying to get your attention and how that can transform the way you live. There are moments when we make important decisions, and even amidst the uncertainty, we feel an inner peace that we can't easily explain. This feeling of peace can be a sign that we are aligned with something divine. It's like, in the middle of mental chaos, there is a clarity that guides us. Imagine a situation where you're torn between several options, but something in your heart points to the right path. That calmness that arises, even surrounded by doubts, can be God's way of communicating with you, a manifestation of faith that reassures you that you're on the right track. In real life, this can happen when someone considers a significant change, like choosing a new career. The anxiety of leaving something familiar is natural, but the peace that comes when thinking about the future can be a sign of divine approval. Think about someone contemplating moving to a new city. They feel fear and uncertainty, but at the same time, a deep inner calm suggests that the decision to leave is the right one. This kind of peace is something that should be considered because it could be a sign of faith manifesting, showing that the path ahead is the right one. In life, sometimes it feels like some opportunities appear out of nowhere, while others simply vanish, even when we try our hardest. This can be a sign that God is opening or closing doors to guide your path. Imagine working hard to get a job, but all the doors close. Suddenly, an unexpected job offer appears, one you hadn't even considered, but it's perfect for you. This could be God showing you that this was the right path all along. When a door closes, it can be frustrating, but sometimes it happens to protect us from something that wasn't the best for us. And when a new opportunity arises out of the blue, it might be a clear sign to follow that path. Think of how many times you've been upset because something didn't work out, only to later realize that another, much better opportunity came along. God may use these situations to guide you in ways you couldn't have imagined. So, when a door closes, try to see the positive side. Maybe it's happening so that a much better door can open right after. And when a new opportunity appears, pay attention because it could be a sign that this is the way you need to go. These unexpected changes are part of the divine plan, helping us notice other signs in our daily lives. Sometimes, it feels like the same message keeps showing up repeatedly in our lives. It might be a phrase you hear in a conversation, a passage you read several times, or even advice that comes from different people. This could be a sign that God is trying to tell you something important. Imagine that, within a short period, several people talk to you about forgiveness. Maybe that's God's way of showing you that you need to address forgiveness in your life. These repeated nudges can be like reminders that there is something you need to pay attention to. When you hear or read something multiple times, your brain starts to focus on it. In spiritual terms, this can be seen as a way for God to make you reflect and act. If the same idea keeps coming up in your life, maybe it's time for you to stop and ask, what is God trying to tell me through this? So, next time you notice a message repeating in different places, think about whether it's a sign. It could be the answer you were looking for in your prayers. These reminders are God's way of guiding you, and by paying attention to them, you'll be more prepared to notice other signs that He might be sending your way. During prayer, many times we feel something strong inside, like a certainty that guides us. It's as if, in that moment, God is speaking directly to our hearts. Imagine that you're praying about a relationship and suddenly feel a clear conviction about what needs to be done, whether it's reconciliation or moving on. This certainty that arises can be the answer you were looking for. These convictions are different from simple thoughts. They come with a sense of purpose and clarity that you can't ignore. During prayer, if something like this arises, it's important to pay attention. God may be using these moments to show you the way. Have you ever been confused about a situation and after praying, felt like you knew exactly what to do? This is a classic example of how faith can manifest in the form of clear signs. This certainty that comes during prayer usually aligns with what the Bible teaches. For example, you may be praying for guidance and feel that you should forgive someone. This aligns with the principles of love and forgiveness found in Scripture. These moments of clarity are precious because they show that God is communicating directly with you, preparing you to understand better the next signs He sends. Life is not always easy. Sometimes, difficulties arise and we feel lost. But these challenges can be a way for God to teach us something important. Think of a difficult time you went through. At first, it may have been painful, but later you realized how much you learned from it. It might be about patience, trusting God more, or even how to face tough situations more strongly. When we are going through difficulties, it's common to ask, why is this happening to me? But often, these struggles help us grow in ways we never imagined. It could be a loss, a failure, or even a period of uncertainty. God can use these situations to shape us and strengthen our faith. For example, someone facing a loss might end up learning more about the importance of faith and resilience than they ever imagined. In the end, these struggles make us stronger and help us see the world with new eyes. Instead of only seeing the negative side, we can ask, what is God trying to teach me through this? This kind of reflection makes all the difference and prepares us to notice other divine signs that might appear in our journey. Now that you know how God might be trying to communicate with you, here's the question. Are you ready to start paying more attention to these signs? Think about everything you can learn and the opportunities that could arise if you begin to recognize these divine nudges in your daily life. When was the last time you truly stopped to listen? Maybe it's time to reflect on the doors that are opening, the messages that keep repeating, or that peace that arises when you need to make a decision. So, what will you do from now on? Will you ignore the signs, or will you start taking action? This can change your life. Don't let these signs go unnoticed. Reflect, meditate, pray, and stay alert. And of course, if you want to keep learning and deepening your understanding of how God speaks to us, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. That way, you'll stay updated and continue your journey of faith and growth.